Hi. So I wanted to do like a tour of Lounge 92. I have a couple of videos that show, or a couple of videos of the lounge, but I wanted to do a little bit of a behind the scenes and show how I've set everything up. Because a lot of the scenes, especially for club or Lounge 92, a lot of the scenes might be moving fast, flashing lights, nightclub-ish, and kind of miss a little bit of the details. So I wanted to give a chance to just go over the details, right? So I'm going to turn my camera around. Okay, so this is Lounge 92 with no dolls in it. And the lights are not on. I wanted to give a quick pan. You can see me there in the mirror in the back. A quick pan of the bar and the lounge. This is the scene. Now I'll show you, I'll also show you the shelf. So I have this metal shelf here. It's a the rest of them are a little bit messy, but we got 1, 2, that's the sip lounge or sip cafe, the yoga studio, and then my little storage shelf. So this is like a 4-unit shelf that folds. So it bends here in the middle and it folds. And what's great about this shelf, and maybe I'll do a separate video off this if you want, but what's great about this shelf is that each one of these scenes have poster board on the side and the back. They're all separate that can pop in and pop out, and I could put them in storage bins. And when I want to, let's say I don't want to do these 3 scenes and I want to take the lounge down, I could just take all the accessories, put them in the storage container that I have along with the walls, and then I have a new shelf that's a clean slate that I could set up something else. So I intentionally made this shelf so that if I ever wanted to take it down completely, it's really easy to do that. I just need to take all the stuff out, put it in the storage bin, fold up the shelf, and the shelf can go away. But it stays set up because I'm always doing videos. But I do have that option, right? So that's the shelf itself. Let me turn on the light here. There we go. So this is Lounge 92 with the lights on. And I'm going to try not to make this video long, but I have a tendency of doing that anyway. I just want to be able to talk through all the details so we can see how I set this particular scene up. So I have like the string lights that's just going around the perimeter. And then I have these lights here that have magnets. They come from Dollar Tree. They're little tea lights, right? Battery operated tea lights. I put magnets on the bottom. And because this whole shelf unit is metal, I just stick them up there. Right, so I can just turn them on, they flicker and everything. These tables, these are, I think I could take them off, but anyway, the tops are real marble coasters. Both of these tops, I actually have a third one. And these bases are candlestick stands from Dollar Tree. The floor is just 2 wallpaper sheets from Dollar Tree too. I don't like to glue down the wallpapers or take the backing off because, like I said, I can pull this whole scene out in a matter of minutes and store it away and put another scene in its place. So that's how I wanted my shelf to be designed. Anyway, these are the wallpapers from Dollar Tree. I 3D printed the sign. Now these pictures that you see here, and you can it kind of looks like it's canvas, but it's really not, it's paper. And what those are is, in the evenings for my own self-therapy, aside from playing with dolls, I like to color and paint. And when I paint, I do a paint by numbers just to unwind my mind for my sanity. That's how I cool down in the evenings after all the madness in the news all day long. And so what I did is, these were 3 different paint by numbers that I painted, and I just took a picture of them and then printed them out on paper and then cut them out. So that's what's on here, and it's glued to black foam board, right? So that's the walls. I figured it was funky. It had the right colors that I wanted. And then these are just two little cocktail tables that, like I said, coasters and candle bases. Now the DJ booth, I love this little thing. I designed and 3D printed the booth itself. I saw some pictures on Pinterest of different like counters, and I kind of wanted something transparent so that when I have the lights on behind it, and I'll show that in a second, it comes through. And then I just made like the little sign for DJ Knox. I have a different sign for DJ Halo when she's on the what do you call it? When she's on the DJ board in the DJ booth. Anyway, this DJ station was on Maker World. Somebody had created, it's called the Domineer DJ, that you can see here. And so they made a really awesome 3D print file, and I printed it out, and it printed all in one piece, not in one piece, but basically it was a full file. So I used that. I glued it here on top. Oop, I got little stones coming out. So these these tea lights came from Dollar Tree too, and some of them came with these little rhinestone things. I just decided to put the little rhinestones inside here because when the lights are on, let me pause it and show. Here we go. They just screw to turn on, and I figured with the little rhinestones just sitting on the shelf that it would bounce around in here. And there's DJ Halo sign down there. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. And then in the front, it just gives like a little cool little vibe, and the colors change and everything. So that's the DJ booth. I'm gonna turn this off real fast. Okay, so that, again, I 3D printed that whole thing. I put these little tables together. Let's look at the bar. I'm actually going to start with behind the bar, and I'm going to move this out. Like I said, I make my shelves so that everything is removable. In a matter of minutes, it can be removed. So if I take these stools out, and I have this bar, I'm gonna talk about this front piece in a second. I'm gonna take it out. Nothing is glued down, right? It's a whole unit. I'm gonna move it out carefully. Okay, and I'm trying to talk fast without talking too fast, but I'm sorry if I'm long-winded, but I wanted to show everything in case, like I said, in case it gives anyone any ideas. So this back counter piece, they are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 little wooden crates, tiny miniature crates from Dollar Tree. You can see like the handles right here, right? So it's a total of 4 of them that are the same height and width. I put like a little piece of wood in between as spacers just to give me the right width that I needed. This is just a foam board shelf. This part I didn't actually finish. I want to finish it. I'm planning on doing another foam shelf here. Actually, not foam. I want to do acrylic, clear acrylic, maybe 2 shelves, and then do a like a refrigerator door to make that like a little wine fridge for the little, this came from the miniature bar sets, like little lines and stuff. So I want to have like a little fridge right here. Kind of like if we go down one shelf in the Sip Cafe, I made a little fridge back here too. And this is nothing but foam. Oops, if I can open it. Nothing but a foam board door, right? That's a little fridge. So I want to do the same thing up here, just have a door with a couple of shelves. And the rest of these are just storage. All the empty boxes from the Make It Mini bar set. These were the bottles that were in there. I like the way these ones look, so I put them up on the top. And these are all of the glassware that came from those sets. Some of them I completed, like the tequila shots, the martinis, the Mai Tais. And then some of them are empty. So I left some completed and some empty, so I'd have the whole glassware look, right? And then I have some champagne bottles from Temu. This cash register I 3D printed. I designed and printed myself. I have the same one down in the Sip Cafe. I just printed this one in black with, you know, just a paper screen on there. These are the bar trays from the Make It Mini sets with the coasters. This is the same wallpaper from the floor for the counter. Then we have some wine bottles up top. Again, glassware. Now, the shelves themselves, these are desk organizers from Dollar Tree in 2 different sizes. So we have a big one, 2 medium ones, another big one. So the big ones are on the side. I cut some acrylic to make shelves. I like these because they have like the background of this one is like a gold. And since the theme is like gold too, they really worked out really well. But yeah, those are just 4 desk organizers in 2 different sizes that I glued to the foam board in the back. So again, this whole shelf is not attached to anything. It could come out. Once I put all the glassware in a baggie, this will come out. These shelves are attached to the foam board, so the walls and everything can come out of this shelf. And then I'll have a blank slate to do a whole new scene when I'm ready. But I do plan on doing more bar scenes, so stay tuned for that. And so I'm leaving the bar in this spot for now. Yeah, and I'll have more scenes coming out soon. Let me put the front one back on and show you what that looks like. Okay, so the front piece, you know, like this back one is the wood crates from Dollar Tree. These are also 3 different wood crates from Dollar Tree, but in a bigger size. I did a little bracket to hold up the glass top, and these are 3 different mirrors on the top here to make the countertop. I'm gonna switch this around so you can see the inside, because I didn't paint the inside, right? There you go. So they're 3 different crates. I didn't have to cut them or anything. They were all the same size. I glued the mirrors onto the top. These came from the Make It Mini. Now this thing I designed in Tinkercad and 3D printed with a little piece of acrylic top taped on top. I put some little grapefruit pieces in there. And then we have like the Make It Mini silverware and straws over here that I put in there. And then I did this as part of the design too. It's kind of hard to get clear. That's for like, you know, like your margarita, your salted rim. And that's real salt in there too, by the way. Yeah, so I just designed this as a bunch of little squares. I wish we could see it a little bit clearer. Yeah, so they're just dividers. If I get more little miniature fruits or olives or whatever, that's what I'm kind of thinking of putting in there. But yeah, and let me turn this back around. And so I painted just the front of this, not the back, because you don't see that part. Painted it in black. I took some thin black wood strips to make just like a little design element, and painted everything black. So yeah, this is a whole counter that can be taken out. Like I said, this whole shelf and everything in it could fit in a flat, you know, like one of those underbed storage bins, plastic storage bins. I have several of those, and so all of these pieces will neatly fit in there, and I can move the whole scene out. So that's my bar. Oh, I made little miniature menus from real menus and just put some tape to laminate them. But yeah, that's my bar, my Lounge 92 bar. And I made these stools too. These stools I actually have on my Etsy, in my Etsy shop. However, I 3D printed the tops and the seats in a copper filament. and those are not on my Etsy shop. The stools on my Etsy shop have the same base, but they have a wood seat. And I don't know, you guys let me know if you want a copper seat base. But I didn't make them to sell them because these were supposed to be like rounded, and I didn't like the way they print it, where you could actually see lines and it's not smooth. So I'm not quite, I wasn't quite comfortable putting them on Etsy because they weren't really as smooth. Now maybe what I might do is change the design on this seat so that it's not rounded and it's more flat at the top. That way it'll print smooth, but you can see those lines. That's supposed to be rounded. And I'd have to do some heavy sanding and smoothing. Anyway, I didn't want to do all that. So I didn't put copper seats on my Etsy shop, but I could if anybody's interested in them. Anyway, again, a bit long-winded, but this is Lounge 92 Empty and how I made it. Hopefully it gives some of you some ideas. Yeah. Thanks for watching.